Here's a gift, $2,000. After giving birth, my husband and I returned to his family home, and his mother handed us an envelope supposedly containing $2,000 as a baby gift. After checking the contents, I threw the envelope into the trash. This was the final straw after enduring daily disparagement from my mother-in-law and senior employees.
What are you doing? Apologize to my mom.
I sternly told my flustered husband. Can you say the same thing after seeing this? Upon checking the contents of the envelope, my husband glared at his mother with an anger I'd never seen before. This moment led my husband to make a crucial decision. My name is Alice Ketcher, 28 years old. I married Harrison through an arranged marriage. Harrison, 2 years older than me, is the eldest son of a patisserie and was strictly raised to be the heir. He is a very gentle and kind person. From the first time we met, I was drawn to his kindness.
I want to share the beauty and delicate taste of my pastries with the world. Will you help me make this dream come true?
Harrison said this and gave me a pastry that he made in my image instead of an engagement ring. As I shed tears of joy, Harrison continued.
When we get married, you will work at our shop. Also, you'll live with my parents in their home, is that all right?
Living with his parents was a condition of our marriage. Marrying an heir comes with its challenges, but with Harrison by my side, I was sure I could handle it. I accepted his proposal, and we became husband and wife. As promised, after the wedding, we started living with my in-laws in the house that also serves as the patisserie. Alice, since you've married into this family, you must be prepared. Behave appropriately as a wife. Yes. On the day I stepped into my husband's family home, my mother-in-law immediately hit me with strict words. The sweet married life I had dreamt of did not exist in this world. Alice, how many times do I have to tell you? Learn our customs properly. As the daughter-in-law, you need to be more aware of your actions. It's such a burden for your mother-in-law to have to deal with someone as troublesome as you. Every day, I was belittled by my mother-in-law and senior female employees. My father-in-law was quiet and didn't speak much, but whenever he was around, the tension would peak, making me so nervous that I would make mistakes. Seeing this, my father-in-law would openly sigh at me. There was no place for me to relax in this house. But I was determined to work hard to gain everyone's approval and not be an embarrassment to Harrison. This determination was my only support. In the midst of all this, I found out I was pregnant. Take care of yourself and have a healthy heir. Everyone, including my mother-in-law, started to show concern for my well-being. At the 5-month checkup, I learned the baby's gender and announced it to my in-laws and Harrison during dinner. The baby is a girl. For a moment, everyone froze. A girl? Oh, a girl. No one offered any words of congratulations. Harrison kept his head down and continued eating silently, avoiding eye contact with anyone. I felt disheartened by their reactions. Is an heir only acceptable if it's a boy? Confused by the family's expectations, I anxiously ate my dinner. The next day, everyone's attitude changed dramatically. Pregnancy isn't an illness. Stop being so lazy and work properly. As soon as they learned the baby was a girl, the daily belittlement and overworking resumed. Why can't a girl inherit the patisserie? It's so sad that my child isn't welcomed and celebrated. I began to worry about my unborn daughter. I vowed to protect her no matter what. Harrison, you must have noticed. Since I married into this family, I've been belittled every day by your mother and the senior employees. Now that they know the baby is a girl, their treatment is unbearable. One day, unable to bear it any longer, I confided in Harrison. He looked troubled.
I'm sorry, Alice. I'm still in training and don't have the right to oppose my family. Please endure it. Once you get better at your work, they'll stop criticizing you. I'm happy with our baby whether it's a boy or a girl. Please take care of yourself.
With these words, he quickly headed to the bath. Though Harrison showed some concern for my well-being, I was disappointed by how unreliable he seemed. However, I touched my belly and told myself, I can't let this get me down. I'm going to be a mother. I have to be strong for my child. With renewed determination, I endured the mistreatment and belittlement alone, dreaming of the day my baby would be born healthy. In my in-laws' house, I was mainly responsible for preparing dinner. When buying ingredients, I would pay for them first and then get reimbursed by my mother-in-law after showing her the receipts. This system meant that I couldn't buy what I wanted without her scrutinizing the receipts. However, after becoming pregnant, I often craved sour and sweet things. Should I buy it? But I don't want to hear more snide remarks from my mother-in-law. Despite this internal struggle during shopping, I never had the courage to buy what I wanted. One day, my craving for something sweet became unbearable. I couldn't resist any longer and asked Harrison in the workshop, I'm craving something sweet because of the pregnancy. Could I have some scraps if there are any?
Sure, wait a moment.
Harrison discreetly wrapped some leftover scraps in plastic wrap and handed them to me. Thank you. Just then, my mother-in-law appeared. What are you doing here, Alice? She looked at the scraps in my hand. How disgraceful. This is a workshop for professionals. You are not allowed in here anymore. She took the scraps and chased me out of the workshop. One day, when I opened the refrigerator to prepare dinner, I found it stuffed with high-end ingredients like expensive beef. I asked my mother-in-law for permission to use them. Can I use the food in the fridge? What are you talking about? Those are for Cindy, who's coming back the day after tomorrow. Don't touch them. Cindy is Harrison's sister, who married a farmer. She was 3 months pregnant and returning home because of severe morning sickness. 3 months pregnant and returning home? At 7 months pregnant, I've been told, pregnancy isn't an illness. Despite my feelings, thinking about it only made me more miserable. I pulled myself together and prepared dinner with other ingredients. When Cindy came home, my mother-in-law was in high spirits all day. Having opposed Cindy's marriage to a farmer, my mother-in-law was overjoyed to have Cindy back home. I'll make dinner today, Alice. Why don't you go for a walk and relax? Unusually kind, my mother-in-law's offer was rare. Normally, evenings were busy, so I took her up on the offer to enjoy a leisurely walk. Oh, the sky is so high. Looking up at the sky for the first time in a while, it was a calming red, enveloping me in warmth. As I placed my hand on my belly, I felt the baby move. Mommy will work hard for you. Stay healthy and come out soon. I whispered to my unborn child. The smell of steak greeted me when I returned home. As I approached the living room, I heard voices from inside. Cindy, eat plenty for the baby's sake. Peeking inside, I saw my mother-in-law setting a feast before Cindy. My father-in-law and Harrison were also there, quietly eating steak.
What about Alice's portion?
At Harrison's question, my mother-in-law replied, "Oh, it's fine. I made some stew for her." Without another word, Harrison averted his gaze from me. "So there's no steak for me." Unable to bear it any longer, I quietly retreated to our room. Even though I'm pregnant like Cindy, no one tells me to eat plenty. Instead, I'm excluded. The realization of being treated so unfairly overwhelmed me, and I couldn't stop the tears. Why do I have to endure such treatment? No one in this house welcomes me or my baby. I wish I could just leave this place. Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. After a while, Harrison came over with a cold steak.
I brought my portion secretly. It's cold, though. I'm sorry for making you feel even worse because of my sister's visit.
Harrison apologized with a genuinely remorseful look.
I wish I could be more assertive. I'm not good with mom or sis. Mom had a tough time being harassed by my grandmother, so she probably thinks this is how in-law relationships should be. Sis has disliked me since childhood because I was the pampered eldest son, and she would always be mean to me behind the scenes. Both of them are strong-willed and troublesome, so honestly, I don't want to be involved with them.
His family's issues were none of my concern. Even though he apologized, I realized that he wouldn't protect me or our child in the future. His unreliability made me feel even more miserable. Urged by him to eat the steak, I had no appetite, but I forced myself to eat the cold steak for the sake of the baby. Despite the steak being high quality, I couldn't taste anything. Mechanically chewing, I somehow managed to swallow it. Life after Cindy returned was particularly hard on me as a pregnant woman. "Alice, fetch this for me." Despite my large belly, she made me do chores. Cindy should rest until her morning sickness subsides. Meanwhile, Cindy lounged around all day, pampered by her family. We were both pregnant, but my belly was much bigger. It was unfair. I had no choice but to endure it quietly for now.
Alice, I bought some pudding for you.
Feeling pity for the harsh treatment I endured, Harrison began secretly buying me things I wanted to eat, which was a small comfort. One day, I saw in Cindy's room a collection of high-end baby and maternity items. I had bought everything cheaply from an outlying store out of consideration for my in-laws. Both our babies are their grandchildren, so why such disparity? Trying not to dwell on it, I still felt deeply saddened. Finally, on December 20th, I gave birth to a baby girl. Harrison was overjoyed and cried tears of happiness.
I'll become responsible and protect you and our child.
He promised. After being discharged, I returned to the in-laws' house, where surprisingly, his mother greeted us with a smile. "Let me hold her." When I handed over the baby, she, having raised 2 children, skillfully soothed her. Even she finds her grandchild adorable. Her behavior reassured me a bit. After a while, she handed the baby back to me and took an envelope from her pocket, giving it to him. "Here's $2,000 as a gift." "What? That much?" I was surprised, but he seemed unfazed. Maybe such amounts were customary for celebrations in this house. He handed me the envelope without checking the contents, so I took it after placing the baby in the crib. I decided to check inside just in case. What's this?" She averted her gaze with a smirk. "That's enough." I threw the envelope into the trash.
Hey, what are you doing? Apologize to Mom.
He panicked. Can you still say that after seeing this? I picked up the discarded envelope and showed him its contents. His brows furrowed. The envelope didn't contain $2,000 but a bundle of receipts and invoices for luxury baby items and maternity goods that his parents had bought for Cindy.
What is this, Mom?
Even he raised his voice. It's normal for the eldest son's family to cover our expenses. She shamelessly spouted nonsense. Why should we pay for Cindy's maternity and baby goods? I couldn't stay silent anymore. I resolved to leave this house with my child. At that moment, his low voice echoed.
We're leaving this house.
What? The room fell silent, and everyone, including me, looked at him. He glared at his mother with a rage I'd never seen before.
What do you think we are? I've been dissatisfied with your treatment of Alice, your reaction when our baby was a girl, and your interference with the business. I endured it because I wanted to become capable enough to manage the patisserie. But I've reached my limit. We're leaving. I won't take over the store. Thank you for everything.
He bowed deeply to his parents. Shocked into silence, they eventually left the room quietly.
Alice, I'm truly sorry. I'll protect you and our child from now on. I decided to leave without consulting you, but will you stay with me?
His usual gentle face had returned. Yes. Thank you for protecting us. We'll face everything together as a family. The next day, he immediately started looking for a new place, and within a week, the three of us began a new life. The new apartment was small, but it was a peaceful and happy space for me. Eat well and rest whenever you can. And surprisingly, the new place was just a 5-minute walk from my parents' house. Harrison is wonderful. It's rare for someone to admit their weaknesses and ask for help. According to my mother, he had explained and apologized to my parents that night, asking for their support. Always rely on us. We're thrilled to have you close by. Her kindness brought me to tears. Meanwhile, his mother sometimes asked him to bring the baby to visit, but he only sent photos. After discussing it, we decided it was best to keep some distance from his parents for a while, and we kept our new address secret. Thanks to that, we had peaceful days.
Alice, we're running out of diapers. I'll go buy some.
He actively helped with chores and childcare, and we cherished our modest happiness every day.
I want to start a business.
One day, he told me this. Drawn to the allure of sweets since childhood, he hadn't given up on working with them, even after giving up on inheriting the family business. He still dreamed of sharing the beauty and delicate taste of sweets with the world. He decided to start an online sweets company. Inspired by him, I also wanted to help fulfill his dream. Utilizing my brief experience with the in-laws bakery, I brainstormed ideas while managing housework and childcare.
Look at the pretty sweets Daddy made.
One day, he showed our child his sweets. Although our baby couldn't eat them, they were mesmerized by the gentle colors and giggled excitedly. Seeing this, I had an idea. How about making sweets that even babies can eat? Envisioning the baby's smile, I shared the idea with him.
That's a great idea.
He embraced the concept. We focused on developing baby-friendly sweets using natural sweetness from ingredients like yams, without sugar or artificial colors, showcasing the ingredients' natural hues. Within 3 months, we created the envisioned product. Initially, we placed it in a friend's patisserie to gauge customer reactions, and it was surprisingly well received, praised as perfect for birthday parties. Encouraged, we began selling online, and it quickly became a hit. Featured in the media, our company grew steadily. As the business flourished, we were fully occupied with childcare and work, but by the time our daughter turned 2, the company had stabilized, generating consistent income. With more stability, I began thinking about his family. After we left, Cindy developed preeclampsia and was hospitalized. Her unhealthy diet of high-calorie foods and lack of exercise likely contributed. Though she had a difficult pregnancy, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy, which must have relieved everyone. Unfortunately, his family's patisserie struggled without him and eventually closed. What happened to your parents after closing the shop? I asked him. They were living modestly on their pension. Though I had few fond memories, they had raised him. 2 years had passed since we left the in-laws' house, and as my anger subsided, I discussed with him the idea of giving them $2,000 each as a birthday present. This amount came from what his mother had mentioned as a birth gift. I wasn't sure if she remembered, but if she did, I hoped it would prompt her to reflect. Later, we received a call informing us that the money had arrived, and they were very pleased. While we weren't ready to visit yet, I believed time would heal things. As long as we lived with dignity, things would eventually improve. Parenting was still challenging, but with the support of my parents, I could work on our confectionery business with him.
Mom, is this my candy?
Yes, Daisy. Aren't the petals beautiful? Do you like it?
Delicious. I'm happy.
She put her hands on her cheeks, showing a very happy expression. This was a candy we developed for 1-year-olds that melts in the mouth without chewing. It was shaped like the petals of the flower daisy, after our daughter's name. I hoped this candy would bring smiles to everyone, just like our daughter does.
Mommy say, "Ah," for me.
She placed the candy in my mouth, and its gentle sweetness melted away.
I love your face when you eat candy, Mommy.
I wished that such happy moments would come to people worldwide as they enjoyed our sweets. How did you enjoy today's story? Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.